Hey, so I wanted to share a common configuration I use for first-person shooters with the Steam controller. This is for Viscerafest, which is a movement boomer shooter. So I'll just go from the top down here, but I'm going to show some interesting tricks along the way. But here are the buttons. They're pretty standard. Left grip to jump. Um, right grip is to dash. This should actually be escape here. Let me change this real quick. This is pause, and tab sometimes does something. Basically the equivalent of start and select for keyboards. Going down to the triggers. I actually switch primary click to the left trigger because I like it to be on the opposite hand as my trackpad thumb, and so firing repeatedly does not affect my aim at all. And by the way, I grip with middle finger on trigger and index finger on bumper for the left side only, actually. And for the right, it's the more conventional index finger on trigger. That's what works for me. Continuing on to the joystick, I actually set it as a D-pad WASD, but with analog emulation. Now, this is one of the few games where this actually seems to work decently. The only other game where analog emulation worked for me was Warhammer Bolt Gun. And some other games, you could just use joystick control, like Borderlands, that supports mixed input decently. Otherwise, if it doesn't work, I'll go with 8-way overlap with an overlap region around 8,000, which I think is like the symmetrical. Dead zone lowered. Everything else is default. Okay. On to the trackpad. This is the interesting part. Default, I have it as mouse. Sensitivity up to 600, which is, for this game, what I need to do a full 360 when I swipe from edge to edge like this. Now in practice, I would do very slight swipes, but this is how I calibrate the sensitivity to my liking. So it's pretty high. And vertical sensitivity scale down to 50. Rotation 30. So you can see I'm swiping at an angle. This is my natural swipe angle. The default is 15, and you should change this right away to match yours. Either change it to match yours or just set it to 0. Like sometimes I'll set it to 0. Like if I play without gyro, I like it at 0 to sort of be level. That helps me orient myself better. When I play with gyro, I'm sort of turning more relaxed. So 30 is good. Smoothing down to 10. 20, sometimes I'll leave it at 20. I was playing with 20. But sometimes I feel like 10 is a little better. I tried 0 and it's just too jittery. 10 I think is just enough to like smooth it out. Trackball mode I actually turn off now. I used to put it on high. Now I find I don't really need it, and I figured turning it off will reduce the amount of like errant little flicks, because sometimes it'll work on its own. It'll like flick off on its own. So I just turned it off now. I never actually like swipe. I do a more controlled. I mean, not slow, but my thumb stays on the pad. I'm not like flicking it off. And since I have a high sensitivity, I don't need to swipe. I can turn as much as I need to with that very controlled movement. Now, here's the other interesting part. I created a mode shift, and to do that, you open this, and you go down to the bottom, create a mode shift. And this creates another whole section you can configure. So for the mode shift, I set it to D-pad, and I set it to 4-way, no overlap, and I raised the dead zone to match the outer ring command radius, but I also invert it so it becomes an inner ring command effectively. And then also I set it so the mode shift is on right pad click, but I turn off requires click for this because you already clicked to get into this mode, so you don't need to require click. The user already clicked beforehand. And so what that does here makes it so, you know, I could have done this with a radial menu, but the D-pad way is simpler here. And what it does is, you know, I could click up here at the edge, top edge. It selects weapon 1. And I did it counterclockwise here, so this is 2 on the left. 3 is down here. 4 is right here. And when I click the middle, it says outer ring command, but remember I inverted it, so it's actually an inner ring command now, or inner circle. This is your standard use key to open doors and all that good stuff. So that's how I sort of added extra inputs around the edge of the trackpad. That's my way. There's multiple ways to do it, but that's mine. And in fact, I had to do it here because for some reason, it's not even showing the face buttons for me here. I can't configure it, which is really annoying. Like, Steam input is just a mess, this new version. Anyway, so that's the right trackpad. And then the left trackpad, I just put random actions on. I know, like, the hardcore Steam controller aficionados like to use it for movement. I try it from time to time. It's hard for me to get used to. I'm happy with joystick movement. But here I have it, just quick save. That's it. It's handy when I need it. Now, gyro. Gyro as mouse. And I usually set the sensitivity to 1/4 of the trackpad sensitivity now. And everything else is pretty default, except for smoothing. Here I have a tiny bit of smoothing at 3. Which, I mean, yeah, I like low smoothing, you know, because gyro is what I'm aiming with. It's what I'm trying to be very precise with, while trackpad is more for turning, looking around quickly. Activated on right pad touch, and yeah, that's the default. Everything's default. I think I turned haptics off here. So that's my first-person shooter configuration on the Steam controller. Steam Deck is pretty similar, except I have high smoothing on the trackpad. For some reason, on the deck, I really like high smoothing and 0 rotation. You can see my other videos in my catalog for that. But yeah, that's it. And I'm going to show you some gameplay. Hopefully it demonstrates that it looks pretty good. It looks a lot like keyboard and mouse. I certainly like playing this way a lot over the regular joystick controls. And that's it. Bye.
It won't open! Damn! It's stuck! Hello? Anybody in there? Don't make me break down this door! Knock, knock. Miss Reaper's at the door.
She's in the incinerator. Flood the room.
Crap.
The Nomads have overtaken Facility 1761, and when the field lecture finished to escape.
I want a small squad sent to deal with them immediately. Tell them to destroy the facility if they have to.
Yes, sir.
My fist, your face. The perfect couple. Let me through!
You're crazy.
Right, who's laughing now? baby! Damn, it's stuck.
anything. That is an extremely ugly prototype, and it is immeasurably unstable. Activating it could tear this station apart.
Oh, well, we wouldn't want that now, would we?